We're podcasting, man.
Again. How much can we get done in 45 minutes is the question.
Not much.
I don't think so. We're going to have to definitely book another session, I think.
Yeah. It's been hectic, though. Pretty cool little spot in here.
Man, I was stoked to actually get you, line you up when you're over here.
Yeah.
It was like the fact that you came over for the trade show and stuff, and it sort of worked out pretty perfectly.
Yeah, man. After trade show on the Gold Coast right now. Me and Wade have snuck out we got 45 minutes, 44 minutes, man. We're in a podcast studio. We haven't had to do anything. It's pretty amazing, actually, eh?
It is. It's actually really good, to not have to bring, because usually I travel and I've got 3 cameras, set of lights. Poor old Kyle in the background's got to set everything up while I'm waiting to shoot and everything. Then you got to pack it all down. It's like an hour before you even start filming.
Kyle, Wade's main man, has lost his job today. Go and work at Macca's, man. He's sitting over behind the camera.
Oh, man. I've actually got a few questions.
Have you?
Let's just start. I actually really want to know this myself. Is how was your hunting season this year just gone? Yeah,
man. This year it was pretty crazy. So obviously we hunted together for one of the hunts, but for me it's it's normally a March to July, August kind of time frame, but this year it was compacted down. I had to be home by the 20th of May at the latest, which means it's not much. It was only a couple of months, man, and I had to film basically my whole series, which is 10 episodes in that time frame, as much of that as I could, and it was tough going. It was hardcore in the mountains. A lot of it was in the mountains, but it was I come out at the other side of it with some pretty cool footage and some pretty cool encounters. And I mean, we've already touched on our hunt, we did together, which was wild. But there's a lot of other cool trips I did this year. Actually, some of the best hunting I've ever done has been this year, man, to be honest.
How do you go with that sort of solo hunting you're in the mountains essentially, for more than, you do 10-day stints usually, but you're only back to reload and go again. What's that like being alone for so long in fairly dangerous scenarios constantly?
Yeah, you actually get used to it. You know, people say that once you do something long enough, it just becomes normal. It's fully true. For me, in that hunting time frame, the hard and piece I wasn't looking forward to was when I was coming out of the mountains. So it was if I knew I was flying out tomorrow, I'm not looking forward to it, man. I'm happy, I'm at peace in the mountains. So being solo in the mountains was easy because I just had my system, I had everything sort of dialed in. And then it was coming out of the mountains, that's when it started to become stressful. And I think this year was an exception just because I knew I had a small time frame and I knew that I needed to go hard to get as much done as possible, which meant literally flying out of the mountains, one day in civilization, drop the footage off, dump it all, repack food, repack gear that needs to be packed, just tidy up general stuff, and either that afternoon or the next morning back in the mountains. But in some ways it would have been easier just to be able to stay in the mountains the whole time. When you came over, I'd been away from home for 24 or something days, and I'd been in the mountains 22 of those days. So it's I was in the mountains more than I wasn't in the mountains this season. Yeah.
What's that like toll-wise on family and stuff like that? Because you've got 2 kids now.
2 kids now, man.
And a wife?
Yeah, got a 5-week-old son.
Excuse me.
So, my wife, Catherine, bless her heart, she's a trooper. She's awesome. Yeah.
Because she's Aussie, bro. Because she's Aussie.
Yeah, well, she's Australian, yeah. Oh, funny thing, man. When I was editing our episode from our hunt, there's a piece there when I'm in the tent and Hunter's filming me on his camera. And this is pretty funny. I laughed at this when I was editing. And I do a little, he's filming me, I do a little talk, and I'm yeah, how crazy is this? An American and an Australian in a tent, and I clicked, I just called myself Australian. And I yelled out to you, and then you were in the background hollering because you thought it was great. But yeah, so anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, Catherine being Australian, I don't know, maybe that's something to do with it, maybe not, but she's she's super supportive, man. And doing what I do, being away from home for so long is, it's not, there's a long time between seeing her at times, but she was with me doing all this stuff before we had kids, but you get to that point in life where it's like, you know, raising a family is a pretty special thing. So, yeah, I'm hoping that one day, Catherine, the kids will be there doing that stuff with me. So,
I would say so, man.
yeah, it'll happen, man, for sure. For sure.
How do you find trying to balance like time management and prioritizing that type of thing? I don't believe in balance. I don't think there's such a thing. But like, how do you work that in? Because that's like what you do is like completely different to a 9 to 5 job, right?
What do you mean? Like, for just the hunting or the family, hunting,
Kind of.
fishing, everything? Like, what do you mean by that?
Because your year is like 3/4 planned out. Like, you know, you're going to be away for roughly these amount of months at the start and the end of the year, one for hunting, one for fishing.
Yeah.
How do you go about when you get home? Because you've got editing commitments, brand commitments, and ambassadorship commitments. And then how do you go about actually allocating family time and being able to switch off?
Yeah, so that's probably been a big thing that's changed in the last 2 years, I'd say. I've got a team working with me now. I've got a full-time editor who's been working with me for over a year now. And he's taken a lot of load off me. So it means I can spend more time with the family doing stuff like that, which is very cool. I oversee the edits. I do the final run through and actually change quite a lot of it at times. But it's been amazing having Vince on the team for sure. He's definitely made things a lot easier on my plate. Just doing draft edits and stuff like that, getting footage basically ready to be spliced and cut up properly, cut into its last form. So that's freed up a lot more time, which has been cool. The funny thing is, last year when all of a sudden I had more time, which was going to be family time, I started doing those daily vlogs on Instagram. And next thing you know, like the free time I'd freed up became not free because I'm doing some other little projects. So yeah, I've got a balancing family time is something that I'm definitely trying to get better at. And I am better, but I could definitely improve again. So I think like especially my daughter's 2.5 now, 5-week-old son. So to be at home is super important, especially at this age. So I'm trying to be more present, and when I am home, work during the middle of the day when River's at daycare or something, and when I pick her up, I drop her off in the morning. When I pick her up, I hang out with her or something, like for the rest of the day. If I need to go do some more computer stuff, I'll do that in the evening, which I have been doing. Like coming over here, I'd literally, my general day at home would be get up in the morning, drop River at daycare, which is just down the road, come home, spend the day, like 6 hours or so editing, video calls with sponsors and just the general stuff that needs to happen. Pick her up from daycare, and then for the afternoon, we'll go and cut firewood or do something outside in the garden or whatever. So that's kind of how I've been trying to structure it. And then if there's some hardcore stuff that needs to be done, on the computer, I'll go and do some work for a couple of hours after she goes to bed at 6 p.m. And then at 8 p.m. I come up and spend the rest of the night with Catherine. So that's kind of how my day's been. It's been working out pretty good, man, to be honest. Yeah. But I'm definitely trying to be more present at home.
Yeah.
So in the past, I haven't been. But you're the same, man. Like, you're always away as well. So, like, how do you manage that sort of stuff?
It's hard, man. And, like, I think that's why it sort of resonated with me because, like, I'm shit at it too, to a degree. Like, I try, but it's so hard to just turn it off when you know there's shit to be done.
Yeah.
And you're trying to achieve something at the same time. And trying to allocate time to actually turn off your business brain. Like, I call it, like, the curse of ambition. I'm going to write a book on it one day.
Yeah.
When I'm an old man. But, like, it's like trying to do the back end of my business, which is like your editor that you're mentioning, like Kyle's that for me, Melanie's that for me, with actually getting the work done, and then I can focus on actually growing and scaling the business.
Yeah.
And then trying to like just stay fit and train properly and eat properly and actually sleep properly and all that sort of stuff. Because sometimes like you travel, like as you would know, you might get to bed at 10 o'clock, you might get to bed at midnight, you might get to bed at 8 p.m, you might have to wake up at 4, 5, 6. Like you don't really have a routine.
Yeah.
And I think anyone that tries to chase that at the start of like, I'm probably not at the start of it, but I'm not like hyper successful. There's no choice. Like you don't have the option to have a routine and a schedule and stuff. And some days you need to grind it out. And then trying to slot in like family time with my daughter and everything is super important, and I love it. And I find like I really struggle to balance like how much time, when, all of that sort of stuff. And then I really struggle, and I assume you would too, like being away for months. And it's like a lot of the places we go are super remote where you can't just like FaceTime and like have those conversations with your daughter. Mine's too, so they're not very in-depth conversations, but like just seeing the face and she can show me her toys and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like that stings a lot, I think. And I guess like I always feel guilty is my biggest thing. And then I get stuck between this thing where I feel guilty and I want to be more present, but I also can't stop the business with the momentum that I have. Otherwise, it'll put me backwards. Do you find that?
Dude,
the same?
exactly the same. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. It's like there's always multiple things that need to be done, you know? There's always these things that I feel like I should be doing with the business, but I've just had to teach myself to try and like, they can wait. They can wait till tomorrow, man. Yeah, so no, I think it's probably just comes with the nature of what we do, man. We're both traveling a lot. There's always things to do. We're sort of running our own things and our own business, and it's probably a battle we're just always going to face, man. But I'm trying to get better at the home stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same. And like just learning to switch off, because like I find if I can prioritize like good food, good sleep, training, I'm better mentally. So I can get more done in 8 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours than I can if I was to grind out and get no sleep and do 16-hour days.
Yeah.
So I'm more efficient. So like I'm slowly learning that over time as like getting older and stuff. Because I think like our business models are very similar. Aren't the same, but our struggles and how we have to balance things are very similar.
Yeah.
And that goes for everyone in business. And I think that's why it's so hard for people to actually get momentum. Is like everyone starts, but everyone quits before they start building that momentum.
Yeah.
And I think because you need a bit of a business mindset and you need to really push through like difficult mental stages, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. I think a lot of people get so close to succeeding but pull out. You know, there's a meme that was going around where it was like a cartoon drawing of two guys digging for gold. You've probably seen it. It's like split screen.
Yeah.
And one guy's like, it shows their progress in this big pile of gold. And then one guy's like giving up and he's turned around and walking away and he's like, one more pickaxe hit away from breaking into the gold. And the other guy's still going to hopefully get there. But this guy's given up when he was so close to succeeding.
It literally is just one of those things too. Like you could just be grinding your ass off and struggling to pay the bills. And then you just end up at like, this is why I'm here at AFTA, is for networking and to try and win some more work and talk to some more brands and try and solve some more businesses' problems.
Yeah.
And like it takes one conversation and one person to book you for a job that completely changes your life. And it might not even be that job. It might be that job you go to and then you meet someone that's a multi-millionaire that loves what you do and loves your personality and then hires you for a $500,000 project every year. Excuse me. Like it's just those people aren't just willing to stick it out or put their, like it costs me money to come here, but the opportunity, I might walk away with nothing and no contracts, but there's a potential that I could walk away with potential contracts and retainers and relationships with people that could earn me $1 million in 12 months' time.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people aren't willing to put in the work for free, essentially like giving your time and putting yourself out there and just saying yes to things.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people like don't succeed. And they say it's too hard. I think too hard is probably not the right choice of words. I think it's just not stopping.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You got to be present, man, and you got to be around to open up those opportunities. You're going to walk away with stuff already. Like the convos of the three, me and you and a third party have been in today, I can already see there's going to be jobs coming from it.
I hope so.
AFTA's been pretty good, man. It's trade day number 1 today. So, yeah, it's been pretty good. I'm over here in Australia on the Molossi booth. The Molossi boys have flown me over and, yeah, I'm here to shake hands and say g'day to people, which is awesome. I was here last year for AFTA as well and it was hectic, absolutely ballistic. So, yeah pretty cool to come back over. And it's good, man, like networking, catching up with everyone like you, Briggsy, all the boys are going to be here over the week. So it's like cool to catch up with everyone in one place.
Yeah.
We've got events happening every night. Brooksy's got a film playing tonight we're all going to in the cinema, which is cool. And then tomorrow night, yeah, there's stuff going on, man. It's good. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty cool to come over here.
I'm not going to lie, you were probably the person I was most excited to see.
Yeah.
Just to talk about the good old days, like nearly dying in a blizzard and shit.
Yeah, well, when you just get that close to dying, man, you get close to someone else. We didn't even share the same tent. You imagine what me and Hunter are like. We're like that, bro.
Tight ass. Oh, it is like that though, like completely segueing into a different conversation, but like you spend 10 days in the mountains with somebody and you walk out of there like you've gained 10 years of knowledge about that person and 10 years of friendship and brotherhood. Like it's completely different to just meeting everyone now and then and chatting back and forth.
100%, man. Yeah, on that particular hunt, we battled.
Yeah.
So we came, yeah. I'd say the three of us real tired after that. That's cool.
Watch the podcast. It's on all of our channels, I think.
Yeah, the podcast is out there, man.
Yeah.
The hunt. I released mine just a few days ago.
Yeah.
So getting some good feedback on it.
How, circling back to a completely different conversation, how much business, like how much do you need to be sort of savvy with business to be able to be successful in like a YouTube ambassadorship space?
Yeah, I think it's probably really overlooked, to be honest. A lot of people just think, it's go and make some YouTube videos and success will follow, which it does. But what you'll learn is that there's actually a lot of moving pieces to it, a lot of cogs to it. So creating really good foundations with brands that are on the same wavelength is super important. So brand partnerships and stuff like that are a massive part of what I'm doing, like it's from a sponsorship aspect of they help support the channel by paying for the channel to be a thing, like paying for trips and stuff like that. That's a big part of it. But then also it's like the product side of it. Like I personally really enjoy especially prototyping products and stuff like that. To me, that's really cool. Like figuring out, okay, it works, this one doesn't work, how to improve it. And then seeing the process from basically a conception all the way through to the final product that is then available to people to go and buy, man, and then be successful with, whether it's a lure or whatever, I like that side of it. I really like that.
The R&D?
Yeah, just like I don't know if you call it like the background, but yeah, I just like being involved with that sort of stuff. Because I'm doing stuff. If we used a lure, for example, I'm out fishing and stuff like that, so kind of makes sense for me to be testing new lures at times, But yeah, I think being savvy with like ambassadorships and how they work and how they should work it's a pretty important thing.
How should they work?
Wow, they've got to be. It's, in my opinion, that's an entire podcast in itself. But the nuts and bolts to it is a good ambassadorship needs to go both ways. And I remember when I was first starting out, it's like every brand wants to give you free product. And when you first start out, it's like, yeah, that's cool. I'd love to wear your T-shirt or whatever. But then you realize that you're selling thousands of T-shirts for them from you wearing that one free T-shirt. They're making a lot of money off it. And it's like, then you're grinding, trying to pay for these trips to go and make it happen. And then you realize that, yeah, okay, so you get taken advantage of pretty quickly. So we should do a big podcast about that, like a proper one.
I'd like to
about
touch on it too.
the background mechanics to how a show operates, basically. That'd be a pretty cool thing. I'd say people would probably be interested in that.
It directly applies to what I do too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of companies and arguably a lot of smaller businesses, because big companies value quality content.
Yeah.
So we sit in a different space. Like you're more like vlog lifestyle, reality type stuff. We're more cinematic film storytelling type things, and a lot of like premium ads off the back of that, like short form content. But I think like we get approached by a lot of smaller businesses that say, can we give you all this stuff and can you shoot content, or I can only pay for the content. Like, can you organize the boat and the travel and the talent? The talent's a huge one. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can, but who's gonna wear the shit, or who's gonna use the shit for me to shoot it? I can't wear it and shoot it myself.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that all of those, they're not hidden costs. They're just like, they have unrealistic expectations versus the quality of the content that we get. So it's like a similar type of thing, right? And we do that too. Like they want to underspend on a budget for, let's say, a lure, for AFTR's sake, a lure that then that piece of content is probably going to sell out to every retailer in Australia to a degree. And you don't want to pay us what we're worth. It's like, kind of the same sort of principle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it needs to go both ways in a partnership like that. You need to be happy with what you're getting from your outlay, and they need to be happy as well. It's got to be, obviously a mutual thing. So for me, like, there's a lot of negotiation that goes on behind the scenes with brands. Any brand that I officially partner up with is a brand that's doing product that I actually like. But more importantly, bro, is actually the people that are involved with it. If I like those people, that's a huge part of it. So, yeah, there's so much that goes into it, man. Like, I could talk about it for hours,
I'm
that sort
exactly
of
the
stuff.
same.
Yeah, actually, I really enjoy that stuff. I really like working with the brands. Behind the scenes, like to the YouTube stuff I do, it's all a lot of brand imagery, a lot of stuff like that. Like, there's images that I've taken on a tripod self-timer that's on the side of buildings and stuff. Like, I've got a lot of content around the place, magazines everywhere that brands are using, and it's just cool stuff that I've done, man, on my adventures. So I like seeing that. I like seeing that the content does actually, instead of just an entertainment-based stuff on YouTube or wherever, I like to see that it's been used and implemented into, I don't know, like into the industry, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's like, it's nice to see, and there's certain brands I will help out and stuff like that, and they're the ones that I have long-term relationships with. And what they don't realize too, like, and because we've done that like together now, is like, we allocated some of the content that we got for some of your brands, like allocated hours over the course of those 10 days, just specifically to shoot photos for certain products and things like that, and like catered certain shot lists and bits and pieces to suit those things.
Yeah.
So it's like, they don't, I think, like, a lot of brands don't realize the amount of effort it takes. You can't, like, you can just go and use the gear and that's all well and good, but to actually incorporate it well into what you're trying to showcase takes effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And time.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, it's not as easy as just, can you go and get some photos for us of wearing this particular T-shirt or whatever? It's like, yeah, man, but who's going to pay for the helicopter, and who's doing this and who's doing that? And then also, like, for me, a big one for me, growing into this space was like, the free gear is enticing in the early stages, but then you realize that I can't go to my electricity company, or, I can't say, oh, do you mind if I pay this month's power bill in T-shirts? Like, it just doesn't work, man. So in my situation, I don't have a day job, so to speak. Like, this is it. So if I'm not earning money to support my now family, like, it's not going to work. So yeah, you gotta scratch each other's back when it comes to a good partnership, hey?
Definitely do.
Yeah.
What is your, like, long-term plan with this? Like, do you have anything you're going to scale it into, or are you going to continue this till you can't? Like, what's where you at?
Yeah, I can answer that quickly. I think I always want to continue just doing my adventures, because I'm going to be doing them anyway. I'm going to be filming my adventures, and I just want to continue creating those episodes based around the trips I do, fishing and the hunting. But I also want to start bringing out certain products, and me and you have spoken about this.
We have.
Obviously, merch is a big one, and that's an easy one, and that's honestly should be well in motion by now. But I've got too much on my plate with the content, so I need someone to take on all of that side of it, like the product based side of my business, and do J Wild's merch, because so many people ask for a hat, a T-shirt, whatever, and that's easy. That's a way that people can support my channel, my content, my audience, and people that like my content can actually directly contribute to me going and filming more content. So merch is easy, but I also want to do a bunch of other stuff, like the obvious one's coffee. You know what I'm like with coffee, man.
Yeah.
So it's a natural progression that I'm going to bring out my own coffee brand, and it probably won't be called J Wild's Coffee, but it might be called something else. And but
Big old
it's
stag.
literally, man. But it's like my audience, like you guys, know it as it's part of me. It's like one of my businesses or whatever, but it's a standalone business that can support itself if I was there or not. So coffee, and there's a bunch of other like products like that I've got in mind that I'm sort of manicuring in the background. So it'd be cool to have that. So in my general content, there's all these little businesses dotted around that are doing their thing, and I'm just using the product because it's stuff that I like and stuff that I'm making, but it's helping support the content, build it, roll it, grow it, and then also supporting my family. So that's my plan. What about you?
Yeah, same. I think, like, to a degree, I my passion, which I took a long time to realize, I thought it was creative stuff. I love it, but it's not like truly deeply passionate for me. What is passionate to me is business.
Yeah.
Like not even so much the making money side of it. That's sort of just a thing that happens and that necessity, but actually building something from nothing. Like I started this company with one camera, one lens. Didn't even have a fucking microphone.
Yeah.
Like on the camera. One camera, one lens, and to build it into something where now, like I employ people, I travel all over the world. We've got some really big name clients and stuff that we do work with and work for. And then solving their problems so they go, oh, like the stuff that you guys do is actually hugely valuable to us. And then building that into like what I'm trying to now is, say, maybe 5 or 6 months ago. And I've known this for a while, I just haven't had the ability to do it, is a lot of companies in the outdoor space lack the ability to market unless they have an in-house marketing team. A lot of the ones that contract marketing based, so marketing, web design, social media management, ads, like put all that in one bucket. And all of the back end stuff that ties into that, like SEO and all of that sort of thing. A lot of brands employ us to get all their content, and then they get given it. They don't know what to do with it, how to do anything with it, don't have the time, or don't do it properly when they do deliver it. So, and then we only get like one job here, and 12 months later we'll get another job. So there's no long-term like retainer-based stuff for us, and then the client doesn't get long-term ROI. So they just trade content for reach, and then that just dies off because I don't continue to deliver content.
Yeah.
So I knew that was a problem like way back when I started. I'm like, how do I solve this? And now that I've got enough people working with me and my partner's into marketing, website development, all that sort of stuff, I've been able to offer end-to-end solutions for businesses. So we can shoot your content and we can market it, deliver it for you. Because it's in-house, we know what was shot. I'm talking to the marketing manager at the same time who's got the same vested interest. And we can deliver a marketing plan with the content that we've got.
Yeah.
Everything is in-house. And because and I had this conversation with a couple of businesses today, is like you can have, you can employ a marketing person in-house. They're going to know what you do from a product-based perspective, and they're going to have an understanding of the business back end of the company. Very rarely do you get one of those guys that can actually go and apply that in the field.
Yeah.
And actually have real life understanding. Whether like you fish or not, the majority of what you are paid to do is in the back end of the business, and it's all administrative based stuff. Whereas you could be a fisherman and be in one of those companies, but you still are more invested in that side of it than you are in the real life applicable scenario, which is where people are using your product. Whereas we live and breathe that side of it. So like
it's natural for you, bro.
Yeah. So that's why like I pushed to build this from like that perspective, I guess, is like we can shoot your content end to end and deliver it through your marketing strategy end to end. And we know the industry and the people at the forefront of it. Yeah. Not behind the scenes in back of house. Yeah. Like actual people that use the shit.
Yeah, I that reminds me, like I literally had a meeting with one of my brand partners just a couple of days before flying over here to Australia. And we had that conversation came up, man. It's like all these years, this is a big partner of mine. All these years I've got there's 10,000 images, man. And there's, 10,000 images, I don't know how much footage, but a lot. It's there to be done something with. But in the past, it's there for the grabbing, there for the using, but they're not taking advantage of it. So we had that chat. I said, do something with it. Get it out there, man. Get out there, you know? Yeah. So that's a big thing. And just like you say, like so focused on what they're doing day to day, there's all this content building up that never gets used, you know, outside of my stuff, you know, for their own social medias. So what you're saying is you'll help implement it into their system without them having to think about it.
Exactly.
From a point of view of a outdoorsman.
Yeah.
Hunter, fisherman, someone who's into the outdoors. So you can see what hits. And another thing that came to mind is some brands I've worked with in the past, the marketing team haven't been outdoorsmen. So when it comes to implementing into the social media platforms, it's bad and it does damage because it's the wrong wording or the wrong scene for this particular type of season or whatever it might be. So, yeah, it's probably pretty overlooked, man.
I think it
side of
definitely is. And
Yeah.
I understand businesses, like you have to keep the lights on, right? So you're dealing with your day to day.
Yeah.
Most of those people, most of the businesses like are very big businesses that like wholesale shit all over the world, and there's 10 people working there. So the owner of the business is wearing multiple hats. He doesn't have time to, if it's not making money now, everything else is deprioritized and in the back end.
Yeah.
Is one thing, which I understand. But I don't think employing in-house solves that unless you found a golden goose that's like someone like yourself that like, and I'm not talking weekenders, right? I'm talking like, and that's where we add value is like, I've done something crazy shit. Like our hunt for like backcountry stuff, middle of nowhere, dropped in the middle of nowhere for fishing, gone all overseas, like countries that don't speak English, slept on dirt floors, like that, and applying product and lifestyle stuff to that. Like, because I encompass all of the data all the way back to the weekenders. Whereas if you're just a weekender, you don't have an understanding of all that. Like you lose that whole demographic that's like hardcore mission dudes. Like
No, I agree, man.
Yeah. I didn't explain that very well, but I think I got the point
I know what
across.
you're talking about. Yeah. Hopefully the listeners are following us.
So I'm a little bit rattled today because it's like I had that many conversations, bro, and then trying to be articulate here is like hard.
Yeah.
And they're under pressure, like you've got 13 minutes left.
Tell me about some cool trips you've done this year, man.
Man, we've done
just before, like a couple of weeks ago. You were fishing, eh?
Yeah.
Well, you were fly fishing, filming a fly fishing.
Filming
Tell me about that.
film. Yeah, so I can't go too crazy, but we did a 7-day shoot up at Hinchinbrook Island.
Yeah.
So we're putting this into IF4, which is a international fly fishing film tour.
Yeah.
So we did 7 days up at Hinchinbrook Island. For people who don't know where that is, it's in North Queensland between Townsville and Cairns. It's an island like that basically broke off the coast, and it has like a delta in between the island and the coast, and it's just a like crazy fishery, beautiful wildlife, amazing crocodiles, bird life, all that sort of stuff, freshwater streams and all sorts of things.
Wow. How big is it? Quite big.
Yeah, it's like I actually don't know. Can you look that up? How big Hinchinbrook is? Please. And yeah, it's like
sound like Joe Rogan.
literally.
Jamie, look that up. Please.
Kyle does that all the time. If it's not Kyle, it's Mel. But basically, you can launch at the bottom end, and there's a boat ramp at the top end.
Yeah.
It takes probably in a boat that does say 50 odd K an hour to drive up the channel, and probably take you 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, so it's solid.
It's a big island, man.
Solid,
and it gets 393 square
Yeah,
kilometers. It's massive.
So it's proper, yeah.
Yeah, and you can do like a multi-day hike. You get dropped at one end, and you do like 3 days over the top, heap of waterfalls and stuff up there. It's got like its own like mini climate, rainforest, crazy. Yeah, you can do like a multi-day hike and get picked up at the bottom end, and it's beautiful, man. One of the most amazing places in Australia. So we're fly fishing there, doing barramundi on fly. It's a huge barramundi fishery, like all deltas, little creeks and channels and stuff like that. Big meter plus queenfish on fly, like on yaps, which is like a topwater fly.
Yeah.
Casting into current and getting like crazy topwater eats. Got some crazy like super tight topwater eats, drone eats, all of that sort of stuff.
Nice.
And it's like it's also like a really massive permit fishery.
Oh yeah.
Super difficult permit fishery, like always like wind against current, dirty water, very, very hard to fish. And there's this one guide that's like built his career for the last 15, 18 years learning that fishery.
Yeah.
And he decided to create an outfit there, a fly guiding outfit, which is insane. And he's I think there's a couple of other people that have done it and sold off, and there's a few people doing it, but he's like the OG now and one of the best to do it.
Yeah, okay. So it's like he's fully like settled in. He's crushing it.
Yeah. He can go out, like if you can, he can find you the fish, and you've got to be able to fish, and it takes a lot of technique. Without going into too much detail, it's not as just simple as like casting out a permit. Sometimes you have to like lead them and then feed line out, like wiggle your rod, feed fly line to them, strip it in, feed fly line, like super technical type of fishing. There's plenty of fish, but super hard to catch is essentially the thing. So we did 7 days shooting. The permit that we caught was like 3 p.m. on the last day because it was the only day that had sun.
Oh,
so like,
yeah,
I had the film like wrapped pretty much under the assumption that we didn't get a permit because we ended up with like multiple meter plus queenfish, heaps of barra, crazy croc footage, underwater footage, heaps of wildlife, and I've got a heap of B-roll and stock content over the years. The interviews were epic. I'm actually going to make an appearance in it because they were keen to put. I won't talk too much detail, but they were keen to put my perspective on the sort of head topic of the film.
Yeah, okay.
In there.
Yeah.
Because I fly fish and fish and spearfish.
That's pretty cool.
It's a pretty cool angle, man. It was nice to actually, because Kyle came up for a day and shot all that B-roll of me. So there's actually, like, it doesn't matter that I'm in shots.
Yeah, okay.
Which was quite nice to actually.
You sent me a couple of those clips, eh?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I
Yeah,
did for
yeah,
your film. Yeah. Crazy Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's cool. That's cool that you can be in there, sneak in there, eh?
yeah. So we ended up, like, that was a crazy trip. We ended up with some, like, epic footage. Got a really good permit on the last day. Fully, like, the eat and everything, like, mint on camera, and was super, like, a crazy situation where it's sort of 3/4 at the rod tip.
Wow.
And it was like, cast at it. Oh, yeah, it's good. He's on the fly. Feed it line, because the current's picking his fly up off the bottom. So it's like feeding you, wiggle your rod tip and feed slack line, and then it goes like on the bottom, then you strip it again to get your tension back, and then you feed it line, strip it. And he's like teabagging this permit basically that's following his fly along. And then he ate it and, like, got some crazy footage. So yeah, we do a lot of that sort of stuff. A lot of our projects are like big projects like that. We did our 10-day trip in the mountains on the west coast, which was epic. Caught in a blizzard in the middle of nowhere. That was loose. That feels like years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't long ago at all, man. Yeah.
Done a fly fishing film in Africa, in Gabon, which is like this tiny little country in the armpit of Africa.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere, doing that crazy stuff on, like, Cabera snapper and Jack Crevalle and heaps of wildlife. Got chased by an elephant onto the beach.
Yeah, that story's wild,
bro. It's mad, man. It was loose. Like, I've never been that close to a bull elephant before, and he would, like, if he wanted to get on the beach, we were in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
we would have had to swim, like, go in the ocean and swim.
You said he didn't want to drop off that little, like, sand lip or something.
Yeah, like, chased us off the beach, off the grass onto the sand, and then he wouldn't step down off the lip of the grass onto the sand. But he was there, like, the boys were, like, shin deep in the water waiting.
Yeah,
and I'm, like, up on the edge of the grass going, hey, making him chase me so I could film him and shit. And he was, like, throwing sand and, like, going crazy, man. I got some insane footage, probably some of the best, like, footage I'll ever get in my lifetime, I think, from that.
Yeah, it's, like,
unreal,
man.
Elephant eyeball close.
Wow.
Yeah, with a telephoto and shit, man. Insane. That was loose, and then
we got some big trips coming up.
Man, we've got
Wait, how much time have we got? Well, we've got a little bit of time.
7 minutes. 7 minutes.
What's happening in December? We'll tell them. We'll give them a sneak peek about December.
Yes, let's do that. I'm excited, man. So I'm doing, and this is a passion project that I really like. Interesting people interest me, essentially, which is why I do my podcast and stuff. And people doing really difficult, cool shit. And you're probably one of the few people that are really successful in the industry that you're in. The way that you do it too. And I think, like, what you've achieved and how you do it is, like, pretty incredible. So what I've decided to do after our hunt in New Zealand that we just did the start of the year is I'm going to do a J.E. Wild's doco as a passion project for us. Builds my portfolio, gets to hang out with a close friend now and tell your story, because a lot of people don't really know it, man. Like, it's breezed over a few times and stuff, and it's very loose. Like, I want to, like, get right into it and, like, sit down and do multiple interviews and stuff like that. So I've decided that I'm going to, like, follow him around, follow Joe around for probably 2 or 3 trips over the course of the next 12 months. Joe's kind of invited me to a Kingy trip in December. With another mate. We're going to do some land-based sort of Kingy stuff and
bit of everything, really.
Yeah.
So that's going to be wild. That'll be the start of it, basically.
Yeah.
You're going to bring a fly rod too, because we want to try and get a big king on a fly rod.
Glove on my left hand, and then hope and pray. I'm super keen to try and tick that off. That'll be loose.
The little documentary about me, it's kind of weird thinking about that, but bro, I'm excited to see what you come up with.
I think it's cool, man. Like, what's inspired me to start doing this sort of stuff is they did a documentary on, like, Seabum.
Okay.
A guy. We spoke about it, I think.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. Is that public
I
yet?
don't think it's out yet, but I've just been watching all the behind the scenes stuff and a bit of the storytelling, because the guy that the director of that is a guy I've followed for years. Like, I love his stuff.
Yeah.
And I really want to start getting into more meaningful storytelling, especially the way AI is going with social media and stuff like that. I really want to get into more long form stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, I want, like, a catalog of cool stories from friends and stuff from my life, essentially, for when I'm old, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm keen, like, over there it works really well because it gives me the opportunity to, like, get you at home.
Yeah.
As well. So I can see a bit of your family life and whatever you're willing to share. Your family life, actually have the time and to sit down and do interviews and bits and pieces and get that fishing side of your life, because you're an avid fisherman too. Most people probably know you for your hunting side of things, but you're also very
Probably
avid.
pretty even, to be honest.
Is it?
I'd say, yeah.
Based on like your YouTube following?
Or if we look at last year, 22 million views on my fishing channel, 23 million views on my hunting channel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, he's balling, people. He's balling.
No, it's interesting. Like, I'm here for a
Yeah.
fishing trade show, but the amount of people that have come up and talked about the hunting, you know, so it's, I don't know. I don't know if I'm bigger on either.
It's probably most people that fish hunt too, bro. So it's
Probably.
like there's probably a fair bit of overlap there, I guess. But yeah, like that's a really good opportunity to go over there and like capture some at-home stuff, because that's your backyard essentially, without giving too much away. Is like that sort of side of it is really good. And then what I'm planning on doing is Mel and I are going to do the rut to some degree. Rookie error phone.
No, that's probably our...
It probably is a timer to get out of here. It is. To get up, Mel and I are going to go hunt the rut in New Zealand. Hopefully through Heli Rural, which is a very lovely...
Let's just touch base on it quickly.
Hit 'em.
Just while we've got a couple of minutes left. So I'm going to be hunting non-stop next year, basically, through the rut. And what we're planning to do is you and Mel are going to be hunting. Are we going to do your hunt first, you and Mel?
I think
second?
so. Whatever work, like you'll probably be in the mountains before and after me.
So what we're going to do is literally at some point I'm going to send a GPS coordinate to Wade, and then he's going to get dropped off at my camp. And then we're going to continue hunting.
Yeah.
Either before your hunt with Mel or after, I don't know.
That's the plan.
So that'll be cool, man. People don't hunt with me in the rut. I like to be solo, but it's going to be pretty cool to have you there documenting it.
I'm very grateful. I'm an exception.
All crazy.
I'm pretty keen to like actually tell your story. There's so much, man.
And you're trying to cover like everything.
Yeah.
All the stag stuff, all the fishing stuff, all the mountain stuff.
Yep.
The whole story, my life, background.
I want to do
cool,
like
man.
a signature piece on you, and then like literally just you have it. You air it first. I don't even care. And then like I'd say it'll be well and truly more than 30 minutes. It'll probably be more towards an hour long, full blown film.
I might learn some stuff about myself, man.
You might do. Yeah,
crazy.
Might make you cry on interviews and like all sorts.
Yeah, you never know, man. Hectic.
Man, that was a quick 45.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna speak to the lovely Emily at what's the name of this place?
The studio.
Yeah.
The studio.
Oh,
Studio.
is it called the studio?
The studio.
Yeah, it's easy.
The studio in Robina? Is it Robina?
Varsity?
Varsity Lakes on
Why
the
don't-
Gold Coast.
So we should try and see if we can rebook another slot,
Yeah.
and then we'll cut this one so you guys will hear the end of this, and then we'll be straight into the next one. What do
Yeah.
you think about that?
I think that's a cool plan.
We'll be in different clothes, but we'll just pretend like it's the same
It's the
session.
same podcast. Don't tell them.
Yeah, don't tell them.
Thanks very much for your time, man. Sick convo as
bro.
per. Live, we're back.
Are we just going to splice this onto the other one?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. We should have swapped seats and caused like mass confusion.
Dramas, eh? Yeah, we should have messed it up.
You know, it's like pretty bad when you got to have like book 2 sessions. Like an hour long, 45-minute, hour long session wasn't long enough.
Oh, dude, I'm not even joking. We could, if me and you sat down and we had 5 hours, we'd crush
fill it.
5 hours. Yeah,
We would.
I reckon.
We would. Emily won't let us though.
No. It's luxury coming into a studio like this.
Man, it is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good just to be able to walk and like sit down, because it's like an hour for me to set up, or half an hour to set up before I even start podcasting. And then
Yeah.
usually the people I have conversations with, like super interesting, detailed conversations. So they'll go down all different sorts of roads for like 2 hours.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I would need to get in the habit of is like actually podcasting like I am now, like 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock in the morning. Because a lot of the podcasts are like after business when
Yeah.
people are free, and they start at like 8, 9 o'clock at night. By
Yeah.
the time you finish, they start to like drop off because you're tired.
Yeah, even yesterday's podcast, like the first part of this one, I kind of felt a little bit frazzled just because we'd already spent hours talking to people, man, at the trade show. So
It
we're
started
fresh. We got coffees being delivered to us, so it's going to get hectic in a second once we start getting the caffeine hit.
This is my third coffee for the morning too.
Ooh.
It's bad.
It'll be second for me.
Second.
Yeah.
I'm not caffeine sensitive. Like I can have a coffee half an hour before bed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Mate, we punched the coffees in the mountains.
Yeah, we did.
Lots of
But
coffees.
you got to, though.
You have to.
Glassing, keep yourself warm.
And not asleep.
Yeah,
When it's
yeah.
quiet. Because it's not like you're rugged up on the edge of a mountain and like sitting up there, and it's easy to get like sort of sleepy and relaxed. I miss it. I actually want to do more of it, like more for myself too. And actually, this is probably a good talking point, because I think we're probably both going to have different perspectives. Is for me, like I'm always like I'm in the mountains or I'm on boats and all that sort of stuff. but it's always business.
Yeah,
Like I'm always so focused on everything that we're doing and to do well for the client that I forget to like take things in.
yeah.
So like all of these moments that like you would just love to just put your camera down and sit and watch, you sort of are filming it, and then because you're so focused on like your camera settings or composition and whatever else and incorporating that into the story, you're focusing on that and not actually being a part of the moment.
Yeah.
I struggle with that a lot because people talk to me about it and like, oh, it's crazy, like you get to do this for a living and all that sort of stuff, and it's awesome. Aside from the fact that it's like a whole shit ton of work, but like you actually are like, it still is work. It's epic, and it still is like, doesn't feel like super like work based, work related, but you still have a disconnect from the actual moment itself. If
Yeah,
that
you
makes
do.
sense.
You definitely do, because you're worried about the settings. You're worried about getting the shot crispy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, man.
Is it the same for you? Because like, regardless of what you do, it's still business, right? Like you still have to deliver
Yeah.
a certain piece of content from your hunts.
I think so. If we look at prior to YouTube, when I was guiding and filming, photographing hunts and trips and stuff, and now they're my own trips. So I'm experiencing the trips as I want to do them, and making sure I'm in the moment and hunting for myself and having fun doing it. But early on, I think I struggled with that thing, like that separation from, okay, I'm also solo running these cameras, trying to get everything dialed, and that takes away from the moment. It still does now to a point, but like when we hunted together and I was telling you like all my settings, man, like if I was filming a hunt or if I was a camera guy, it would be a whole lot different. I'd be running, everything would be manual focus, everything would be all gnarly settings and stuff. But now a lot of my stuff is just dialed back, man. It's like auto, put it on a tripod, boom, hit record. It's basic. There's no log footage. It's all simple, ready to go. And I think that's definitely like sort of crushed that aspect a bit, and it's kept it so I'm still hunting. I'm still in the moment because I'm not really having to think about all the camera settings and all the stuff that comes involved with that. So yeah, that's definitely evolved over the years. But I've still got to get the content, but as long as I can make it as easy as possible for me to get the content and still be relevant and in the moment. Yeah.
I think like also the fact that you do it consistently for like months and months and months at a time, you've got a system where it becomes sort of semi-automatic because you're like the content that you get is it's not the same every hunt, obviously, but like you have these key things that you usually get on every single hunt that you do or fishing episode type thing that you need to tick off, right?
Yeah.
For us, it's like super different because it's highly dependent on client because everyone's different.
Yeah.
Client needs products different.
Yeah.
How they want to tell the story is different. So our shot lists vary dramatically. Our shot lists vary and what we deliver vary for two directly competitive brands could have two completely different pieces of content from a shoot type of thing. And like trying to think about that, like we're always like trying to, and a lot of our clients are retainers too, so we're always trying to do new shit and think about different sort of ways of shooting things and delivering them with editing and stuff like that. Whereas a lot of what you do is like, I guess it's systematic. So you can like, you get into the mountains and you know obviously there's so many variables you can't control, but you know, I got to get this and I got to get this and this and this.
Yeah.
And it's the same most episodes. Coffee, for example. Yeah. You brew a coffee every episode.
Yeah, so it's pretty much that. Like I know when I fly into the mountains, I know, okay, I need to film the camp setup because people need to know like my situation, my home. And then naturally I'm making a coffee while I'm doing that or something. But as far as like deliverables and products and corporations, it's each episode I have generally one product that I'm highlighting, that I'm showing the audience, and basically that's helping pay for that trip and things like that. So I know that leading into the hunt, I know, okay, at some point I'm going to talk about this new tent or this new pair of binos that's just at the market or something. So I've got a small list of small shot list. But then the main priority is literally the adventure, the hunt. So I've got to make it as natural and as successful as possible, because if the hunt's no good, I got no film. So the priority is the hunt, getting everything dialed, or the fishing trip, whatever it might be. But then I've got a small shot list that's that's there and is easily doable, but doesn't take away from the main priority. So yeah, it's way different, man, what we're doing. Like, you're out there with all of this stuff you've got to tick off, but I'm out there with only a little bit, when the main goal for me is actually to be successful on a hunt, so that there's a film from that point.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I guess like a good thing for you is like a lot of your clients, your brands that support you, you've had for a long time too. So they know what to expect. You know what to expect of them, and like you know what they require a lot of the time too. Well, I guess that's a similar model to us, but ours very shoot to shoot. Like a lot of your stuff is like semi-linear. It's interesting because like I actually like haven't really thought about this until we started talking about it. Is like, just take your hunting stuff, for example. A lot of it's very similar. Like each hunt is similar. Like you're looking for big, mature animals, regardless of what species, like one of the big three. You're looking for big, mature animals, usually every time you go out.
Yeah.
And you're usually trying to get to a place where like it's remote enough for you to be away from everybody, and to really showcase like the like harshness and rawness of the New Zealand mountains and stuff. So like, is there a bit of like variables there that you like to play with and try and change up every sort of episode? Yeah, come in. It's all good.
We got
Thank you.
deliveries.
Coffee drop.
How's this for service?
Yes.
Picking up water.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, man. I have a cocoa.
For you. And coffee with 2 sugars, yeah?
No, no sugar. I hope. How's that for service,
Yeah,
man?
it's good.
Mouse.
You don't have to cut that out, by the way. It's totally fine.
Mal's just brought us our delicious treats.
Yes.
She's a good girl, isn't she?
She is. she runs my life.
If someone needs to, man, you can't do it.
No, I can't, man. It gets to the point where like I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. And then she's gotten to the point where she knows me so well. Who's ringing me? She's gotten to the point where she knows me so well that like I'll sing out from the distance and go, "Hey Mel, have you seen my?" And I'll get to that point and she's like, "It's over here." She already knows what I'm looking for.
You need someone like that in your life, man.
You do, man. I think like with business, like there's so much stuff. Actually, no, circle back. I want to know the answer to that question I just asked before.
Yeah.
So like, is there anything that you play with in regards to like mixing up your shots and stuff like that? Or because you have like a strict YouTube audience that are all a similar demographic, they expect a certain deliverable?
Are you talking about like, if we're talking about a hunt, for example, are you talking about a big stag or...
Yeah, or like just how you shoot it. Anything like,
right.
Throw a broad net over it, and like, do you ever play around with like, oh, I'm gonna not do this time and do this instead, or I'm actually gonna get, because you don't showcase your drop in a lot. Like, oh, I'm gonna put the drop in this time with the chopper. Like,
Yeah.
do you ever think about that sort of stuff, or do you just keep it rigid because your audience has an expectation that that's what it's gonna be?
Yeah, it's a hard one to answer, but I think the system, the strict, I shouldn't say strict. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to word this, but basically the structure of my episodes is kind of based around what works and what has performed on the channel over the past. So, for example, if I've spent too long on the intro piece, which might be like me at the hangar loading the helicopter, flying in, getting dropped off, if that's too long, I can see retention drop off. So I know that people might not want to see that. So the next piece might be like, if my camp setup's too long, people are dropping off, I won't include too much camp. But the structure I do now is generally based around what's performed in the past. And I know a lot of my videos don't even show me at the hangar loading the machine. Our hunt that we did this year, I've edited that up and it's actually finished. We should watch that today too, by the way.
I'd be keen to, actually.
Yeah. But I've included more of a story of the start just to help prepare for what's to come later on. So there's us at the rifle range, which I would never put in an episode. But there's us at the rifle range. There's us at the hangar talking about the plan, like that stuff you filmed of us looking at the big map, loading the helicopter, a couple of little scenes of like what I'm doing and why I'm loading it this way or whatever. There's even a piece there where you ask Scott, like, "Hey Scott, what are trips like with Joe? What's it like doing trips with Joe?" And Scott's like, "Oh, you know, it's funny. It's quite comedic. It's funny." But all that stuff I've left in this one. because I feel like it's going to tell a broader story. But normally, if I'm doing a solo hunt, I generally start off the episode of me basically getting out of the helicopter flying off. There's no lead up to that. That's where it starts. A quick camp scene, straight into hunting. When it comes to like the target, if I'm looking for a stag or something, I'm always trying to find a really big old stag. And the reason for that is the hunt will be over a lot quicker if I just took an animal. But for me to keep myself like interested, and I've sort of set personal levels of where I want to be, I like to target the ones that are very difficult, like those big ones that you might not get many chances at, or the old ones that have tried all the tricks to get away and they've survived so many years. So for me, to keep trying to track down those older, harder to find animals keeps it exciting for me, you know what I mean? It makes it a whole lot harder for trying to get 10 episodes a year, because you know what it's like, man. You look at our hunt, it's living difficult. Although the first morning, we did see 2 proper animals.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always happen. So, I've got to remember that I've got to keep a little bit of a spark in there for me to keep me excited about the situation. So to target and to set sights on only difficult animals. And I don't want to come across as like a guy who's a trophy hunter, because I'm not. You go into my house, there's no trophies anywhere. Like I don't have antlers anywhere. So I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for the hunt and the experience and to bring people on the journey. But to have the best and the most hardest and the coolest story out of it is generally targeting animals that are hard to find, or bigger animals.
They're not big and old because they're silly.
Yeah, so that's kind of a weird tangent, but I suppose
It probably segues into something that's probably worth touching on too. You mentioned like trophy hunting, and I know I harp on about this with a lot of people that hunt, that come on the podcast with me. Is like people have a misconception around what a trophy actually is too, because a lot of like people like yourself and people that actually hunt for the right reasons, a trophy isn't necessarily like this big amazing rack or anything like that. That naturally happens from it being a bigger, older animal that's mature, probably right at the peak of its prime or starting to taper off, like old as like a very old, mature animal that's like going to start going backwards soon type deal.
Yeah.
And they don't have to have, like, let's talk about red stags, for example. Like, everyone's like 12 points or more is like a trophy. I would tend to disagree. Like, a big, old, mature 10-pointer is equally as valuable.
Yeah.
Like, nice, like coronets, like, on the skull, like, old and thick and heavy, and, like, you can just tell that they're around. And then, like, usually off the back of that, the effort and the storyline that goes into trying to even see an animal like that and then even take that animal's life is usually so much more intimate and deeper and more exciting than what it is a 3-4-year-old animal that you can just call in and it walks up to you at 30 yards and you shoot it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's more to, and people ask me, my trophy room must be impressive. I don't even have one, man. They'd be shocked to know. Like I've got antlers and stuff all around the country. Like look at the heli base.
Yeah,
they're all just sitting in the heli base. I don't. For me, the thing that I like is the video and the story. I guess that's if I was going to call it a trophy, that would be my trophy. To have the video. Yeah, it's a weird world, bro.
I think most of it's people that don't understand, and they look at all of the left pushing trophy hunting is bad, but they're only taking one angle at it. Usually just a trophy is like, they end up looking like a trophy because they're big and old, and hunters that hunt for the right reasons are looking for mature animals that are like, have already bred multiple years and have put good genetics into the pool and all of that sort of stuff. So taking that animal has very little impact because the genetics are still there in that area type of thing. Like, whereas you're going and shooting like a young up-and-comer that's 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. And by all means, like if you're happy to do that and that's like, that has meaning to you, a 2-year-old, 3-year-old animal that you're happy to take, that's fine. And then that can be a trophy for you.
Yeah.
I think people have like this misconception about the whole thing, especially like with African animals. And that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. But just like the Cecil the Lion story type deal where hunters again are paying like hundreds of thousands of dollars to go and kill one lion for whatever reason, a trophy, a rug on the floor, whatever it is, that $100,000, most of that money goes into tips and to the community and to conserving lions. So for the sake of one mature lion's life, you save 30 lions or 100 lions, or conserve like a whole area for 3 years type of deal, you know what I mean? Pays for rangers and pays for conservation efforts and sustainability initiatives and all that sort of stuff. So people don't realise that.
Yeah, in my circles, I've heard a lot of things where, like, for example, if you're using a lion, it'll be a problem lion that's causing issues to a local village, and they contact, the authorities, and the authorities will then put the outfitters in there to basically get a hunter in to get that lion, which it's causing issues anyway. Someone would come and try and shoot it anyway, but now that village is getting all the money from the hunter coming to do it. So it's like a big circle. But then the world media will portray that as, oh, he's just gone and shot this lion, this poor lion. But little did they know that lion is harassing a village and it's a problem animal or something like that.
Yeah.
I've heard many of those stories, and in the circles that I'm in, you hear all that background stuff.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. I try and avoid like politics and shit like that, like talking about COVID and all that sort of crap too much, because it gives the minority groups that lack education a voice, and I try not to do that too much. And political opinions are just, I don't know, I couldn't be bothered talking about them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like, if you can pass on little bits of education to like sort of spark people's interest and go, oh, maybe that, okay, I'll research that now, and then they can make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Um,
I've got a subject I think that we should talk about on this podcast.
Hit it.
I think there'll be people out there that want to do basically what you're doing. I think we should cover that. We should talk about what that is, and we should talk about how to get into that, because we've both done that, man. You're currently doing it. I've done that in the past. I think it could be quite a cool thing to talk about. So, growing up, I was always really interested in cameras. Like, I love cameras. I love getting footage, photos, all that sort of stuff. And to make a career out of it is doing something you love for a job is pretty freaking special. So I wonder if we sort of talk about a checklist or something that can help maybe a young listener that might be wanting to get into filming hunts, photographing hunts, or not just hunts, just in the outdoor scene, which could then overlay into any aspect. But let's talk about the outdoor scene, because that's what we do. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we can help some guys and inspire some guys to get into this situation. So, like, where would you start if you were fresh out of school? What would be the first move you do now, knowing what you currently know? So, with thinking our audience is now in this position, what steps do they need to take to get into what you're doing, what I've done? What would you do? Straight out of school, what would you do if you wanted to be a full-time camera operator, cameraman for brands, for people, for, in the scene? What would you do?
This is actually really good, because I'm actually going to do solo podcasts on this type of deal. So this segues into it perfectly. I think if I was a young person straight out of school, I would obviously invest in a camera.
Yeah.
And I think people get so caught up in like, what camera, what lens should I buy, blah, blah, blah. The best camera you own is one that's in your hand.
Yep.
Whatever you can afford, the best value for your money. Get your hands on a camera, learn to use it well. And to make a point, filming in the outdoor industry itself is difficult, and building a business solely in that space is extremely difficult. Like, it took me twice as long to build momentum for my company than it would have if I was doing real estate and weddings and all those other things on the top. We've done those on and off, but we don't advertise that we do them. We very rarely take them on because we're so busy with outdoor work.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do that. So you need to have a fair bit of grit and be willing to sort of just continue to push. Put yourself out there. So know if you're in a certain niche. Mine was fishing. So I was networked well enough in the fishing industry. Put yourself out there. Don't expect anything, and give everything. Would be my first piece of advice, because no one gives a shit who you are and what you do at the start.
Yeah.
And no one's confident because you've got nothing to back yourself up with portfolio and all that sort of thing. And you might take cool photos. That's all cool videos, but you're doing that with your mates.
Yeah.
And there's no obligations. There's no time constraints. There's no restrictions. You've got 6 months to edit it if you want to.
Yeah.
So clients don't care about that. They want to know that you can sort of you can add value to their brand before they're willing to add value to you. And one of my sayings that I've developed over the years is like, invest in your client for them to then invest in you. It doesn't go the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So be willing to, circling back, I'm trying to make points as I go. Put yourself out there and be willing to do shit for free to start with.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there, just reach out to people. It's not, people think that I get on Instagram and I see someone with 200,000 or 1 million followers, that they're like, there's this much gap between people, and there's just not. So like, I've messaged people that are way above me, leagues and leagues above me, in my industry. So I'm kind of a competitor potentially. And they've always, like, usually always got back to me. And it's never usually because they don't want to if they don't. It's usually because they don't have time, or they're not on social scrolling and mucking around, and they just get diluted with everybody else's messages and things like that. Put yourself out there, be willing to work for free is probably the biggest point of call. Yeah. And start doing stuff to build a portfolio. So don't think about money straight away. I understand you've got to pay the bills and all that sort of stuff, and it just, like, usually you have to get a side hustle to sort of.
You'd want to stay with you'd want to have a full-time job. It would be my choice for sure.
Yeah.
Get a good camera that's going to take some nice images. Doesn't have to be the best camera out there. And like you say, start building a portfolio, doing things for free, filming your friends' trips, filming some cool stuff, so that it'll eventually work into something that's a career-based sort of direction. Like you look at someone who's going to go and film a whole lot of cool stuff of them and their mates doing some trips. Eventually, a brand's going to see some of this content if you're doing enough of it and doing a good job of it, and then it's going to then lead into what we spoke about yesterday. Like, hey, would you want to wear this T-shirt in your next thing? And that's how it starts. And I think, just get comfortable with the content creation before they start to try and like pressurize brands into hiring them. Basically, that would be the big one.
100%. I think don't expect anything, because you add a very minimal piece of value at that point in time. Like, it's more of a burden for the brand to communicate with you and try and organize you and do all that sort of stuff for the content that you would produce initially, regardless of how good you are.
Would you say film school or self-taught?
Self-taught.
Yeah, me too.
100%, man. Because you can go to university and you will not learn how to shoot in the outdoors.
Exactly.
And we can get down that path, because that's
probably
just
not even just the outdoors, to be honest, man. So I get asked that a lot. Like, what film school did I go to learn cameras, learn editing, and all that? And I'm like, dude, I just learned on YouTube, like tutorials, things like that, self-taught. I think there is some good courses out there that probably do help, but man, like, watching YouTube tutorials is incredibly powerful, man. You can literally search exactly what you want to learn.
Yeah, 100%. And like, there's so much information out there. A lot of people fall off because they're not willing to put in the work. They want this thing. And I feel like there's a lot of, and I sound like an old man talking about this, but like a lot of young people these days seem like they're entitled when you're just not. Like, you're just not. If you want to make something big, and I'm not talking like make a living from it, I'm talking about making money and building something bigger than you.
Yeah.
You're not entitled to that. You have to earn that through blood, sweat, and tears and hard work, man. I'm a big on educated risk. So I've always had cameras, same as you, like forever. I've just loved, even as a little kid, little disposables with the winding film, take them on every trip ever. Yeah. So I finished school, went straight in, and I did a carpentry trade. Had cameras the whole time. Built the carpentry trade. I still was trying to find direction, but I was like, I can't just do nothing. So I just tried to continue that. I built the carpentry trade into sort of facility operations management, project management type of career. I was sort of doing a heap of recreational stuff at the time, fishing tournaments and fishing and on socials, and starting to sort of put myself out there, had cameras through all that. And then was like, I feel like there's an opportunity here. I'm sick of doing this full-time gig. And I'm just started leveraging off the people that I knew in the industry. Like, can you put me in touch with this person? Talking to brands that were sponsoring me for bits and pieces and giving me equipment and everything like that. Yeah. Had friends in the industry that I was fishing with, so I was filming those guys and shooting photos of those guys. And then just kept putting myself out there. I got aligned with actually, like, it's a bit of a shout out to Mick Guthrie at Cast. He bought me my first camera.
Yeah, true.
And
yeah.
lens.
Which is a mutual friend of ours. Well,
Yeah.
you know, that's basically how I know you, through Mick back in the day.
Yeah, so he bought me my first camera and lens, and I worked it off.
Right, yeah.
Essentially. And it
cool
was
is
just one
that?
camera, one lens, and I don't even know if I had a microphone, a cage, nothing. I'm pretty sure it was just one camera, one lens, and I was slinging cameras for him, just learning on the job.
Yeah.
And that fast tracked me into sort of, I really enjoyed that type of thing. And then basically just built it from there. And once you get to that point where you know what you need to do and the direction you need to take, I would say my next piece of advice would be make decisions for 5, 7, 10 years time. The decisions you make now need to suit you 5, 7, 10 years time, not tomorrow. Because if you go and take free shit for content, that's fine. But 10 years down the track, is that brand still going to expect free shit for content?
Yeah.
And can you pay the bills? Can you pay a mortgage? Can you build a brand bigger than yourself? Which is what I did. Like eventually, like Flow State's getting to the point where like Kyle shoots 75% of our content these days. I just sit in BD, like do business development and talk to clients. So
Pick and choose trips that you want to do.
yeah, and I just shoot the ones that are like the bigger projects or the multi-shooter projects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think like, and that's where I'm lucky. Like I force myself to educate myself in that space, but plan ahead.
Yeah.
Don't think about, oh, it's a good opportunity now. Like really think about, yeah, I'll do it for free shit for content this time, but I would like to do it to a point where I could work with you guys long term.
Yeah. I want to say something there.
Yes.
There's companies that I was working with in the early days that were on board already before I was doing YouTube. So for example, like I've never publicly talked about Stony Creek, but there was a thing with Stony Creek where when we were guiding, we were wearing Stony Creek gear. They were supplying our clothes and we were giving them content and stuff like that because we were filming a lot of hunts, we were photographing stuff. So there was a little deal happening. When I got into YouTube and started to go full-time focus on YouTube, Stony Creek naturally just rolled into the production. And I had Hunting and Fishing come on board. They were the naming rights sponsor, and they were basically holding this show up. They were making it possible. So then when it come to negotiating, like, okay, all this other stuff, like now the clothing, providing a piece of cash basically for promoting the clothing brand into the show, it was really weird because they've been so used to giving free product that when it came to actually providing some cash to help make the show work, like I was paying Joe Fluidy to film at that time for the show, and there was costs, man. Like I had costs to pay, and it was really difficult to get Stony Creek to come to the party. They started off paying $3,000 per year for 10 episodes on the show, which is, it's doesn't even cost one trip. It doesn't even cover one trip, I should say. So trying to progress them up into where it needed to be I found it very difficult, and I was learning back in that day how to do these negotiations and how to make these things work. But yeah, man, I think it's like because they were so used to the free side of it, it was like, oh, why would we be paying this? Why would we pay you for this when we've been getting it all for free? And so it was kind of difficult, man. And I think like a brand now would they jump at the chance just to be featured in my show in some way or another, and the money levels can be anywhere, and there's no issues with negotiations. But back then it was like, because they'd been there before, it was actually going to cost them anything. It was hard to transition them into, hey, this is now a business where there's a lot of big costs involved, so we need some help basically. So
I've got some advice on that actually, and this is from my own experience too. So like I know it's a truthful thing, especially in this space, because I solely deal with outdoor businesses essentially. So I said earlier, don't expect anything, but also know your worth. So you need to get to the point where you go, okay, I can send a short film, so to speak, or a piece of content to somebody that's legit, and they can critique it without giving hardly any major changes. So, and there's no simple, stupid mistakes. So you've produced an actual quality piece of content. There's no focus jumps, or there's no jitters, and there's no weird coloration, and the color grade's well done. And that's to the point where you go, okay, I can actually do this properly now. where it's professional content, because there's a difference between well shot, well edited content and professional content. I think the conversation with brands circles back to you have to be willing to let brands go as you grow.
Yep, for sure.
So I've had brands since I started. I've had brands like businesses that since I've moved back to Townsville have grown with me because they've seen opportunity for them to grow with us. And I'll get to that in a second with like long-term brand relationships. But a lot of brands, there's a handful of brands, local brands in Townsville in North Queensland that have supported me since day one. The Townsville Game Fishing Club and Outer Limits, which is another outdoor sort of adventure sports company. Those guys have supported me forever. And as I've started to charge more, those discussions have been positive and they've come on board.
Yeah.
But there's also other brands that have gone, oh, like you used to be this dear, this expensive, now you're this expensive, why? And I'm like, well, look at this piece of content, look at this piece of content. Two very different, like in 12, and it literally happens pretty quickly when you start committing to doing it. Like you pick up skills very, very, very quickly. So like within 12 months, your content's chalk and cheese and like you hate your old stuff. So it progresses that fast, which is why I think it's such an impact to brands go, oh shit, like I was giving you free shit for content and then I was paying you little bits and now you want me to pay a lot. They're the brands that probably are never going to stick with you anyway. So like you need to be willing to let them go and know your worth and say, nah, man, like there's another brand that's willing to pay me what I think I'm worth for this stuff. I have no hard feelings. I understand that you're trying to look after your costs and your overheads and stuff, but I also need to progress my business and stuff. And if I continue to do shit for free or cheap and I lose money, and then that whole chunk of time, so say I might shoot for you for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months, a year, that's money, that's time that I could be allocating to another brand that is willing to pay me X amount of dollars that values who I am as a business.
Yeah.
So you need to respect the businesses that you're working with. I always say with, never for.
Yeah.
Because
me too.
your model is you grow together.
Yeah,
it should never be trade time for money or trade content for money. It should be you grow together.
Exactly.
We invest in you, you invest in us. Which is another lesson, like a hard lesson that a lot of people learn. And you look to grow together, and it's just going to change as you progress. So for example, I started with a lot of small businesses, direct points of contact with business owners. They don't have marketing teams and all that sort of stuff. Now it's progressed to a point where our business model, we're expensive in the market, and we deliberately price that way because we offer that kind of service. Because some of the shit that we do with 2, 3, 4 people, other companies would put 10 people on.
Yeah.
We're doing full-blown like 30-minute films and documentaries with 2 shooters for 10 days in the middle of Africa. And there's not many people that can do that sort of stuff. There's a handful, but not many.
Yeah.
So we price accordingly. And they're not like massive days, early, late, like you're out in the wilderness, your shit's getting wet and drenched, and 40 hours of travel to get to Africa, for example, stuff like that. You're up in the mountains getting caught in blizzards.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's a price
Concessions. People don't realise that, like filming in the mountains and the public lands in New Zealand, like I pay a lot of money each year just to be legally allowed to do that with a commercial filming permit. So
Yeah.
people don't know that.
Yeah.
But people think you can just go out there and we'll just film this content for this brand and stuff. But officially, legally, they're meant to have a concession. And I had to go down that path early on. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did it early on. But, man, it's cost me a lot of money.
It
Tens
does,
of
man.
thousands of dollars, man.
And that sort of, that type of thing has a cost and a price associated with it. And so does your intellectual property of, like, you can put any of us, like Kyle and I, on a boat, and we know that we're not going to take 6 Pelican cases and put it on your center console. But we're still going to be able to get you the content that you need. We're not going to be in the road when there's hookups. We're not going to be in the road when someone's trying to drive. We know the species. We know how you're casting. We know where your lure's going to land. We can put a telephoto on where your lure's going to land before you even have to tell us. Like, there's that has a price.
Exactly.
And brands that value that will be brands that stick with you for a long time. Brands that don't value your business enough, and they'll just drop off. And I'm not saying go, hey, fuck you, we're not working with you anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You outgrow each other. That brand might get huge and employ in-house, and that's a risk you need to take and you need to accept. That brand might get big and then scale with you, and you just need to be able to read the room. And I think like it goes from trading time for money as a solo dude, and there's a lot of people that just stay solo freelance. And I wanted to touch on this too, which is the you hit a fork in the road or multiple doors where you can choose to go down your path, my path. You start trading for time for money, and then you build that into value for money. So for those people that sort of don't understand what that means is like, let's just say X amount of dollars for X amount of hours on a project, and I'll give that to you, versus you shooting this 30-second ad might be worth $10,000 to me because I'm set to make $3 million this year off that piece of product. And there is literally, people don't think that's a thing. Brands will literally pay, like you think of like Nike and car brands and like huge brands like that, right? They'll go and shoot a 30-second TV ad that goes on a billboard and stuff in New York, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars on a 30-second TV ad, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's ridiculous.
Or a shoe ad, a photo for a shoe, because they know that industry, that shoe is worth millions, billions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's where I'm trying to get to. And I don't know if I'll ever get there, maybe, who knows. But I'm trying to deal with brands that I can add value to their business and they pay me for that value.
Yeah, yeah.
Not, I want to give you, you only did 6 hours today, here's 6 hours worth of pay, because you can't scale with that.
No.
You'll pay your bills and you'll make a bit of profit. I obviously started like that, but then I reinvested every single dollar that I ever earned from videography and photography back into the business.
Yeah.
I never took a wage from it for, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for the business has been operating as a company for 6-7 years.
Yeah.
I've probably been operating for 10 to 12
Yeah.
in different capacities. And I've scaled from time for money, reinvested every cent of that back into myself, with whether it's equipment, whether it's workshops and courses, networking,
Staff.
Yeah, it cost me like $5 or $10 grand to come down here to AFTA just to meet people.
Yeah.
And then just to get more work. Like I forced myself to be in those situations that create opportunities. Man, we could talk about this. Like I've got a whole like massive thing on this. But and then got to the point where now I keep the brands that value us, and that some of them are very small businesses, but still invest in us because they see the value in what we do, and I have a really good, strong personal relationship with those guys. I can have a beer with them and all that sort of stuff. And I know their business at an intimate level because I've been with them for so long.
Yeah, yeah.
All the way up to big companies that pay quality money for those things, and all the way back to people as well, where there's like, I'm shooting a passion project on you. Like, I want to do that because it's something I'm super passionate about and we're good mates. And also, like, there's an option there to leverage off network for both sides of the fence, right?
For sure.
So there's value there's non-monetary value in what you do too. It's a super complex discussion, and it's super hard to sort of cram into such a short period of time. I'll quickly recap, like from the start: get a camera, learn how to use it, create opportunities for yourself, do the homework, put in the work and effort to learn it properly. You're going to have to get yourself a full-time job while you learn to do it, unless you've got heaps of pocket money and you can fund yourself to do so. Don't expect anything. Invest in clients for them to then invest in you. It happens in that order, not the other way around. Biggest probably lesson, and I learned it the hard way.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Invest in clients for them to invest in you. Grow your client base with your business. Don't try and hold on to clients that aren't going to add value and are going to cost you money and time or cost you other clients in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Know your worth and.
Yeah. And get from time for money to value for money is probably, they're very loose terms and they like take a lot of understanding, but that's probably a pretty high level view of the structure to that point. Then you hit the fork, and you pull me out whenever you want because I'm on a roll.
Keep going, man.
You hit a fork in the road eventually, right, where you get to choose, where you've got enough of a client base, and let's hypothetically you say, I'm quitting my full-time job, I'm going out to do this on my own. Sweet, no worries. Then you get the opportunity to do you have options. You create those opportunities for yourself. So one opportunity, there's heaps of them, but let's just touch on a couple, is like to go from where you were commercially filming for companies or clients and stuff like that, to then go, nah, I'm not doing this. I'm going to go do my own thing. And then you go down like your own personal brand, YouTube, whatever it is, like J.E. Wilds is you. It's only ever going to be you. It can only ever be you. And then you do a personal brand, and then you can do product off that and all that sort of stuff, which is a whole different market. I chose a different route, which was I could see so much value in turning into an agency.
Yeah.
Because my passion is business. And I think I said that in the last podcast.
Yeah.
I thought it was cameras, but it's actually business.
Yeah, right.
I love business, and I love trying to solve problems for companies and stuff. And the money is just whatever it is. In order to do that, I need to employ people to shoot for me. So I did that. And then I had a good client base. I've able to expand that client base because I put people like Kyle on and other subbies and stuff like that to create more opportunities, built those opportunities, and then gone and realized, there's a gap in the market going. A lot of brands that we shoot for in the outdoors industry are, they get the content, they don't know how to deliver it, they don't have the time to deliver it, or both. So I'm like, well, we already sort of do marketing because we edit to give those clients content that they would then use for social media marketing and stuff anyway. So I made an effort to try and understand website SEO, customer funnels, whether they go to YouTube, whether they go to website purchases, whether they go to socials, whether they go to whatever, and understand a brand's customer funnel and how to structure that. And that's a whole nother conversation will blow this podcast way out of the time frame. But so I'm like, a massive gap that clients have, and business is all about solving people's problems, is the marketing side. So I decided to open a marketing side of the business where we can deliver your content, we can collect your content and create your content for you, but also deliver it.
Yeah.
One piece of value, I'll just finish this sentence and you can send it, but is like, for the client, is it develops a long-term relationship. We have an intimate understanding of the content and what your business identity is. Therefore, we can market it so well because we're in the industry that you're in. So you get everything in one place. You talk to one business, not a content company and a marketing company, and then another website developer dude, and then a social media company.
Yeah.
You're dealing with it all in-house, and we service the outdoors. It's not like a generic marketing agency. So we offer businesses now an end-to-end solution. And since we've done that, we've doubled revenue.
Yeah.
Pretty much double revenue. Like the marketing within 6 months has equaled the content-based revenue.
Yeah, right.
Over 7 years.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And I wasn't ready for it. Now we're like hectic.
Yeah.
But and that's the sort of thing, that's the path I took, I guess.
I think it's a good direction to go in, man, because that's like you're offering a service that's pretty rare. You know what I mean? Like how many other companies are doing that here in Australia? I can't think of any doing it at that sort of level. With the trips that need to be done to get that content is pretty hectic in itself, but then also to follow through right through to the social media posts, it's wild, man. So I think it's pretty cool to see that you're going down that path.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite fruitful as long as we can keep up, because I wouldn't say we're behind, but we've got a lot to get through. So, and then it just goes back full circle again. We put more people on and we scale. And I don't want to get to a point where where it's massive and I don't know the people I'm working with. 10, maybe 15 staff where like I can actually I know your wife's name, and I know your dogs, and you can come over to my house for a barbecue. I still want that relationship, and they must be people in the industry that we work in. Yeah. I'm probably never going to try and generically employ. I'd rather be a skeleton crew than have 15 people and half of them don't understand the industry.
Exactly.
Because that's not what I built it off.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. People in the outdoors industry, you're very limited to what you can carry, how you carry it, and all of that sort of stuff. What would you say would be the biggest learning curve for filming in the mountains, on the coast, that sort of stuff?
As far as gear?
Yeah, gear and know-how and stuff like that, because like you can't take a crew of 6 people in the mountains with you to film, you know what I mean?
No, exactly. So I think first of all, like a skeleton crew, like what you talked about, you can't have too many people following you around while you're trying to hunt the oldest, wisest animal in the mountains. That's the obvious one. Secondly, like fine tuning gear for me, like I started off. I've had cameras ever since I was young. I think 2007 I had my first video camera, cassette tape. Goes in the side, and then progressed on. My first professional style camera, I went and I sold a Hilux, and I had to finance a portion of it, but I basically got a whole kit, a GH5 when they had just been released, a 3 lenses, I think, a drone, like full professional kit. And that right there, that outlay flipped a switch for me, man. All of a sudden, my content went a whole nother level, and it changed the game for me. That's probably a big turning point for me, that one purchase. So that was crazy. And it was probably, a lot of it might have been the mindset too, of me like, okay, I've just invested, it was 12,000 something. And at the age I was like, it's a lot of money for me to be dropping, And so all of a sudden I've got this kit, and I think that sort of forced me into a new mindset. And that is the transition into the start of what I'm doing now for sure, even though I'd had 10 years basically of camera work before that. So from that point, I realized, okay, some of this fancy stuff, like, you trying to use a gimbal in the mountain doesn't work. So I found that you need to fine tune the gear to suit what you're doing. And we could talk camera models and things like that, but it's probably not necessary.
No.
But basically, I needed the lightest, smallest, compactest stuff, because I'm also carrying, I don't know, 15 to 20 kilos worth of hunting gear. And you know what camera gear weighs, like that big lens that you've got, that thing weighs like 10 kilos as it is, or more.
That was a bad idea.
So I think fine-tuning my gear kit to suit what I'm trying to do has been a big one, big learning curve. Trying to keep things compact so it's still manageable, so I can actually achieve what I'm out there trying to do. So, yeah.
Invest in yourself, I guess, is a lesson there. Like
What do you mean?
As
like
in, so
fitness-wise, or?
Yeah, well, both, but like your gear, invest in yourself, period. But like your gear, for example, is like, get to the point where you start making money. Instead of spending the money on a new car or some bullshit, put it back into gear or something business related to then be able to do more.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, that's where like every cent, referring to what I said, every cent went back into the business, and it helped me scale super quick.
Yeah.
And I basically ran at even profit and loss, even for years, but I had a shit ton of equipment.
Yeah.
To the point where now we don't need really to buy anything.
Yeah.
A handful of few bits and pieces as the industry grows and new product comes out, we upgrade things and stuff. But base level of gear, I can have 2 massive shoots going at the same time, essentially.
Yeah.
So
you've got enough kit to cover it all.
where was I going? So I spoke about sort of, you hit the fork. It's not a fork. It's just the doors are open for you now.
Yeah.
You can choose which direction to go. You went from sort of commercially filming as a freelance kind of dude to then into building your own personal brand. What made you choose that path versus my path, for example?
Yeah. Okay. So it was the COVID switch. So right before COVID, I wasn't freelance at this stage. I was actually an employee on probably the biggest outfitter in New Zealand. I was the in-house camera person basically. So I was filming big hunts. I was doing that sort of stuff. COVID hit, shut down tourism. All of a sudden, I've got no job. So long story short, I'd done all these hunts where I've been filming other people's adventures, and it was fun. But now I was like, well, I'm at the crossroads of doing something completely different. I love making videos of my adventures. Let's try and make something out of that. Let me try and go down the path of I'm gonna now film my adventures and see what happens. Like, I've got no other option. I'm not a plumber, I'm not a builder. I don't have a trade to get back on. Like, I'd done various jobs before that, but I didn't have something to quickly get back into. So I decided, okay, TV show or online based show. I'm going to do something based around my adventures from now on. And I decided to go online because I could see the projection of TV was dying rapidly, and I'm so glad I didn't do TV. So glad. So anyway, I thought, well, the obvious one's YouTube, hosting it on YouTube. I was lucky enough back then to have a good circle of friends who are YouTubers, which actually we hung out with them last night, the boys over here, Briggsy and all the team. And I already knew people in the scene. already knew people doing YouTube full time. So it was a pretty good transition. I remember Briggsy was a big influence back in the day for me to do the YouTube. He kept saying, do YouTube, go down YouTube, you know. But I was happy guiding back then. But all of a sudden now I've got no choice because I'm not guiding anymore. I'm not filming hunts anymore because we've got no clients. So yeah, Briggsy was a big factor of me doing the YouTube, and I'm so glad I did, man, because now I'm doing my own adventures on my own pace and creating the videos, which is that's where the passion comes from. Me making the videos, like you is your business, you love your business side of it. For me, I really love creating the videos and sharing the adventures. So yeah, I could have gone down your path and kept on filming other people's stuff, but I really wanted to just do my stuff, man. I wanted to do my own adventures and try and make something out of it. And yeah, a few things fell into place to make that possible, but I mean, it's a while ago now, man, and I'm so glad that like COVID changed up a lot of things for a lot of people all over the place. You hear so many good and bad and stuff stories, but I hear so many good things come out of it, man. Like
it was massive for my business. Same thing as you. Like it created so much opportunity because people couldn't go and see product
yeah,
and services, so their exposure to digital content because they were stuck in their homes was hugely valuable. It blew my business up, man. It was epic.
if we didn't, if it didn't happen, I mean, it was terrible and all that sort of stuff. But if it didn't happen, I'd probably still be working for companies filming other people's adventures, man. So,
I think like a couple of big key points for circling back to the providing young up and comers advice is ask heaps of questions and stay humble and be open to change. That's probably one big point, which emphasizes the COVID situation for yourself. And then also be willing to put in the work and just don't quit.
yeah,
Because like it's hard, man. This shit isn't easy. And it's getting harder because more people are doing it. It's never been easier to buy cameras, like quality cameras for pennies, man. It's hard to do that stuff. You need to have a lot of grit and be willing to put in the work.
finding a mentor is also probably something that could be good. Like I wish I had, I guess my circle of friends were all mentoring each other to some degree, but if I was young trying to get into the scene, if I found someone that was already doing it and really, I mean, it's hard. Like you can't just walk up to someone and say, hey man, do you want to be my mentor? You know, it just doesn't, it doesn't really work that way.
I would probably do that.
Well, yeah, but you know, so if someone was to find a good mentor that was already doing it, to actually take them under their wing and help them get through that steps, man, like your progress is going to go so much quicker.
I will give people, like young people, opportunities left, right, and center if they're committed.
Yeah.
And the way I do that is trial by fire.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And a good example is probably Kyle. So Kyle was shooting photos and stuff and done some cool stuff. And then he was keen to, so he sort of reached out and, did I reach out to you? You reached out to me? You reached out to me. I think we had like opportunities for some more photography and stuff on a couple of local jobs.
Yeah.
I reached out to Kyle because I knew he existed and he took cool photos and stuff. I said, do you want to come on a couple of photos and stuff, photo shoots?
Yeah, yeah.
And he come and kicked around and worked for free, and then I ended up sort of paying him a bit of stuff. And then I was like, oh, are you interested in doing video? He's like, yeah, I'm keen, man. I was like, sweet. Here's the gear. There's a job on the weekend. I'm not coming. And Matt, the other guy that subbies to me, who runs his own company more in real estate and weddings and stuff.
Yep.
I said he's not going to be there till lunchtime to help shoot interviews, but go there and here's a rough brief.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And to see if he was committed, and he's still here now.
Yeah,
right. He smoked it. Like I wasn't expecting it. It was low risk for me if it did shit the bed. It wasn't that big of a deal. He would have hated it, I assume. But yeah, he smoked it. And then like you've only been filming properly for what, 2 years, 3 years? Just under 2 years.
Yeah.
And he's better than me already.
Right, yeah.
Because he was committed and was willing to put in the work, man. He done so much work out of his own time, off his own back, and built himself into like a fucking weapon with a camera.
Yeah.
And like editing wise, man, an incredible storyteller.
Yeah.
Because he was willing to put in the work. And it's something that I can't give you. Like you have to have that yourself.
Yeah.
I can pay you for the hours that you shoot for me during the day, but you got to be willing to put in the work after hours to become as good as that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, because I've sort of stepped back, he's surpassed me within like for ages. He's been better than me.
Yeah.
But now it's causing more problems because now I just give him all the work. So now he does most of our shooting and editing. But yeah, I think like be willing to put in the effort, man, and be willing to take opportunities and put yourself in the position where you can get opportunities.
Yeah.
Who are you, man, and where can people find you? Because there's probably a few people on my side of the fence that don't know who you are. And
Yeah.
stuff.
So yeah, Jay Wilds, Joe Edlington, but people know me as Jay Wilds. They can find me on Instagram and YouTube are the two priorities for me. Yeah, just search Jay Wilds anywhere, you'll find it. There's a bunch of YouTube channels, so yeah, be good to see a few friendly faces pop up in there.
Yeah. And I'm nobody. I just want to leverage off Joe's following.
No, well, yeah, but
No.
Go.
I'm Wade Kelly. I am the founder and managing director of Flow State Productions. So we're a digital media and marketing agency for outdoor brands. And been in the game for 10 or so years, servicing Australia, New Zealand, Americas, Asia, anywhere really.
we've got some cool projects coming up together, man. So
excited, bro.
Yeah, I'm actually frothing up.
I'm grateful for our friendship.
Yeah,
man.
me
It's
too.
really cool. Like, it'd be good. Like next time we're going to be more organized. I'm going to book for like a 4-hour slot, and we'll just come here and just smoke a whole heap of episodes. No, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Oh, good chat, bro.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you too, man. Talk to you later.
Bye, everybody.